finding this conversation or this talk interesting and not knowing, about the previous talks that we've had, you can, of course, go to economist.com and get all the talks. But you can also go to the YouTube channel. You just need to type in Economist Namibia.
Yes.
That is, and then you can find our previous talks that we've had, and it's a lot. So you will be able to graduate after you have listened to all our talks. But coming back to what we are talking about today is... Yes.
There are more than 180.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's
a whole economics handbook.
That's a degree that you get at the end of the day after you've listened to all those talks. But of course, Mr. Daniel Steinman, we'll be talking about the first quarter of 2023 and, the stats that came out, and like you said that you are quite happy with what you have seen in regards to vehicle sales and also hospitality and mining that has increased substantially, but it's a good thing. But also when we look at the declines in certain sectors of the country, which is beverages and livestock, that is agriculture. And
it's important to sorry that I cut in here, but it's important to realize that there were only two declines of all the subsectors. All the rest posted moderate growth, and the three that we discussed posted huge growth, carrying the whole tide, so to speak. And these two, beverages declined by 13% and livestock, I think, by 18%. Now, both of them are fairly easy to understand. Beverages, there are basically only two beverage companies in Namibia. One is Namibia Breweries. No, I need to correct myself. With SAB...
Heineken.
SAB Miller in Okanya. There's also there's a third beverage company and a second brewer. So it's SAB Miller in Okanya, and it's Namibia Breweries in Windhoek, and it's Coca-Cola. If there is any other beverage company, it's really insignificant, or it's SME level. But those are the big three. And the big honcho amongst the three of them is obviously Namibia Breweries. And they were sold to Heineken late last year. And that deal... this has been something that has been going on for the last 25 years, in the sense that breweries always suffered when it came in competition with SAB because of the small local market. So breweries had fantastic products like Tafel and Windhoek Draft and Windhoek Lager and well known, but they are still not regarded as common beer or popular beer. They are regarded as premium beer. So when you take Tafel or Windhoek that we all drink, which to us is just a common beer, it's our ordinary everyday beer, and you put it on a truck and you take it to Joburg, suddenly it enters the niche market. It becomes a bouquet beer because it's not built or brewed like Castle by the millions of hectoliters. It is brewed by 100,000 hectoliters at any given time. So the economies of scale are not comparable. So in comes Heineken, and they buy breweries to get access to this product, this high-ranking, high-quality product with the Reinheitsgebot label, everything that makes it a very good beer. But almost 10 years ago, breweries started I'm talking about Namibia Breweries, started brewing in Gauteng, South Africa, on a limited scale. Now what happens now is that the brewing facility in Windhoek will continue, but it will not be grown, it will not be expanded. The big growth in the Namibia Breweries labels and its products will be in the Gauteng facility, because the new owners, like the previous owners, they are after the South African market.
Yeah.
And they will service Namibia and Angola and a little bit of this side of Botswana and Zambia from Windhoek.
Yeah.
But the whole rest of SADC, the about 350 million people, will be serviced out of South Africa. And the logical consequence is that the brewing volumes in Windhoek will reduce because it has moved to Johannesburg.
Yes.
So it's a natural development. I almost want to console my fellow Namibians and by saying what we lose in output in breweries' local capacity, we gain on. Remember those figures I gave you 2 weeks ago of the fantastic liquidity?
Yeah.
That I eventually found out part of that is at least due to the sale of breweries to Heineken. So there's an offset in economic terms. If we look at livestock, it's very interesting that January, February were 2 terrible months. And then suddenly in March it started picking up. Now this is the number of cattle and small stock, goats and sheep marketed. In other words, sold to be slaughtered. And January, February, I think there were still expectations for better rain than what we actually received.
Yeah.
Or not. The expectation was for widespread good rains, and then eventually it turned out that it was very patchy. So in March it started picking up because commercial farmers acted preventatively to reduce their herds before they ran out of fodder. Before drought conditions set in. But you have to remember, we came out of a herd building phase. So commercial agriculture, at least on the meat production side, is not where it's supposed to be. It's not where it could be.
Yeah.
It was still sort of coming back from the previous setback, which started in 2019. And remember that carried on for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
So I can, to me, it's easy, or it's fairly straightforward why we had these declines, and I would dare to say that although the declines will continue, because of that base effect, they will tend to become zero later in the year.
Okay.
So that the impact from the growth subsectors will, at least from a statistical point of view, will become even bigger.
So we need to now end on that positive note, Mr. Daniel Steinman?
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll do that. Thank you so much to our listeners for keeping it locked to the power station. We unfortunately have to say goodbye to you, but of course we will be knocking on your door next week around the same time, same place. So keep it locked to the power station. From me, Elsabe Tubinyani, and from Mr. Daniel Steinman, we say goodbye until next time.